New updates in the Sin Diddy Combs legal saga. The Rat Mogul gets an official sentencing date. He gets hit with allegations from a shocking news lawsuit. A judge speak out and also apparently Diddy received a standing ovation from inmates. Welcome to Celeb Vibe TV where we give all celeb updates. We may have a verdict in Sin Diddy Combs trail, but I'll tell you what, this case not over. Important hearing today, sort of. We got to talk about why. Well, Judge Arun Subramanian had sent a tentative October 3rd sentencing date for Diddy on his conviction of 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. Remember, that is what he was convicted of. He was acquitted of racketeering conspiracy, and he was acquitted of the 2 sex trafficking counts. But he was convicted of these prostitution charges. And at one point, there was reporting that defense counsel for Sincoms and prosecutors they had then agreed to switch the date to September 22nd. And we thought, okay, because today's hearing was supposed to be about expediting the October hearing, then they agreed to September 22nd. Now, apparently, it's back to October 3rd. This is all over the place. Very confusing. We will get it straightened out. I got to say it's interesting because Combs Defense Counsel had originally started last week when it was the October 3rd date that they wanted that sentencing expedited. Yeah, expedited meaning they wanted it to happen sooner, and one of the things that Sincoms Anthony Mack Inifilo had said was, "God, the mother of some of these children has passed away many years ago. These kids, the 2 daughters here sitting in the middle of your honor's second row, do not have a parent." Obviously referring to the death of Kim Potter in 2018, mother of Christian Jace Delila Quincy. And by the way, remember Sin Combs was denied bail, so it was not even like he got to go home after the verdict. But clearly, they wanted this expedite. They wanted this expedite. They want his sentencing to happen as quickly as possible. They want him out of jail. They want him out of prison as soon as possible. And also, it's interesting because prosecutors, they need time for the presenting investigation and report. Basically, that is when a problem officer interviews the defendant, looks at the history, the background, childhood, education, employment, criminal history, finance, the mental and physical health of the defendant. They are interviewed that are conducted with family and friends. The officer looks at various court and school record, employment record, financial record. The officer could speak to the victims in the case, law enforcement that were involved in the investigation, provide all of the information in a report to the judge, because here the judge is gonna have a lot of discretion when it comes to the sentence. That could a sentence look like? Well, prosecutors indicate in a feeling that before even doing a pre-sentencing investigation, Combs is looking at 51 to 63 months, a little over 4 to 5 years in prison. The defense seems to be pushing for 21 to 27 months, so a little over 1.5 to 2 years. But remember, Combs has been sitting in federal lookup since September at the MDC. So if he gets time served, he really will not be spending that much time behind bars. Now, of course, the issue when you talk about transportation to engage in prostitution, the maximum for each court is 10 years in prison. You stack them together, you get 20 years. Okay, based upon the facts in the case, it seems highly unlikely he will get that much other side, you get the idea. There is no minimum for discharge, so could he get time served and walk free? Also seems unlikely in that you are dealing with multiple instances of transporting Jane and Cassie, the 2 victims in the case, and men across state lines for the purposes of sex work. You could say this in you could say this is an like aggravating factor. Why? I do not think he is just going to get time safe. Hey everybody, this is another law and crime legal alert. If you receive depot provera birth control shot and were later diagnosed with a brain or spinal tumor called meningioma, you may be eligible for a lawsuit. That is right. Morgan and Morgan is investigating claims that patients were not properly warned about this risks. It's free to check. Just take a few minutes and you do not pay unless they win. So